All right, guys. Netflix has gotten themselves in a lot of hot water, especially with conservatives, but with a lot of people in general. This French film called, I believe, Cuties, where it's about some preteen kids or maybe even adolescent are joining a twerk club or group or something, and basically they are learning how to twerk, and they're showing these kids, I think, in a quote unquote a light that is very sexualized. Um, DJ, what you got on this one, man?
Well, just to give y'all some detailed information about the movie, the film, the film Cuties, which was released as Mignons in France and won the directing award for the Sundance Institute in February, follows an 11-year-old girl named Amy as she tries to find her place growing up in a poor suburb of Paris. At home, Amy has to please her family, who are observant Muslims in Senegal, but she eventually falls in with a group of friends who have their own dance troupe in defiance of her family's strict rules. Now, the female director, Ducour, who's from Senegal, has spent a year and a half doing research and meeting with hundreds of preteens to prepare for the film. And she needed to know how they felt about their own femininity in today's society and how they dealt with their self-image at a time when social media is so important. And the more sexualized a woman appears on social media, the more girls were perceived as successful.
Oh, wow.
Do y'all believe that to be true or false?
Well, before I put my foot in, stepping in, I'm going to defer to the woman. So we're going to let her have that first at bat, because anything I say, I feel like they're going to kill me. So go ahead.
Y'all may not like what I have to say.
All right, Mama Steve, give us the facts.
I am against this film. I don't care if it's about art or Sundance or whatever. It is a sexual exploitation of minors. And if there's one thing that we're trying to prevent, there's so much social media out there now, so many outlets and so much content, and it's turning into a black hole. It really is. Okay. So this film that Netflix is promoting is basically wiping away all morals that we teach our children. Now, I don't have children. I don't. But I have friends that have young girls. And I was a young girl growing up. I mean, obviously. If my mama found out that I joined a twerk club, she would have painted my back porch red.
But for the black folks, that means she would have gotten a spanking or a whooping.
Yeah.
So just for the black folks.
My mama would have gone down to that school, and you would have heard her screaming from down the hall at the administrator. Like, what type of school promotes twerking? I'm sorry. I mean, and that's just this is just giving like sex offenders something to look forward to when. Like Christmas every morning for these people.
Christmas every Cuties on replay. The pedophiles, like, oh yeah, I got that Cuties on the Netflix.
It's a serious matter because it's basically saying it's okay to sexualize minors.
Right.
And it's okay to sexualize young children. I mean, yes, I'm bringing up Stranger Things again, but it goes back to what I have been told. And the articles that I've read with these kids, that there are adults that are sexualizing or trying to sexualize the Stranger Things kids. And it's not right. And Netflix, a multi-billion-dollar company that's supposed to be family-friendly with the TV ratings, and they want to follow the rules, and they can't make Stranger Things TVMA. They make it TV-14, and they specify what makes it TVMA. It's the F word and drug use.
Right.
But yet you are promoting sexualization of children twerking. Netflix,
I'm sorry, what is that movie rated?
The Stranger Things?
No.
The Cuties. I'm assuming it would be rated R. I don't know.
But
so
sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
That's actually a great question. Somebody's gonna fact check us and tell us.
I mean, there comes a time and a place where yes, we see a lot of sex in movies, but it's adults.
Right.
And that's why it's TVMA, rated R. It's adults.
Yeah.
Not children. We're supposed to be. There's laws out there that protect children. We're supposed to be teaching our children what's right and what's wrong, and Cuties is all wrong. It's all wrong. First, it's stating that your you're defying your parents just so you could twerk for a school district.
Now, I want to keep in mind
ridiculous.
that I want to keep in mind that none of us have seen the movie. I mean, even if
I don't want to watch it. No.
I'm gonna give some pushback here, and I'm gonna give some pushback as I know everybody's killing me because it's liberal Jason, but I am going to say, I'm gonna start with that art always imitates life, and whatever goes on in our society, someone is going to take artistic value and artistic reference with it to create. Now, do I think everything should be created artistically? No. Do I think the sexualization of youth or minors is a good thing? No. I mean, I've talked vividly about the adultification of black women and black boys and, how it hurts me or hurts us in the justice system because they assume we're older than we are. But anyway, that's a tandem. But the point is that I do know of friends that have daughters that had to tell their daughters, like, nah, we not twerking. Nah, we not doing this. But they were at school doing this, and it was told to them through the school. And they had to come there and be like, nah, this is ending. As far as starting a twerk group or whatever, I just kind of want to keep it based on, because I haven't seen the movie, but based on just the premise of it, I have no issue with the art being presented. At that point, it's up to you to decide if you want to support that art or not. Because we can go to an art museum and gallery and see grown men laying with boys in Roman art. And I don't see anybody like protesting outside of that because this is imagery of boys being with adult men, etc. So I never want to put a stifle on art. I always want to feel like, hey, have the freedom to express what you're trying to portray. But I do think it is a bit of responsibility that has to come with it. And I think that's where you're at, where it's like, it's irresponsible to do this. Even if it's true, it's irresponsible. Where my vision is, we need to fix the reality, and then we don't have to worry about the art. And so that's why I won't blame the art for depicting a reality that is true. It's no different than how we listen to hip-hop. A lot of that's coming from a reality that the art is emulating. And if we start saying that, okay, this movie artistically is disgusting and is inappropriate because the wrong type of people will view this, then we have to scope in a bunch of art, because then we can say that some conservative art pieces may be kind of discriminatory. So should we no longer support that? Or do we say, hey, this liberal art piece is somewhat socialist or fascist, so we shouldn't support that? But I think that's where the licensing comes with art, that you can be anything you kind of want to be, disgusting, positive, all the full spectrum, and it should have a place in the home. Not saying you have to support, not saying that it's acceptable, but saying that I don't want to shut people's creativity to say, well, you only can make movies that portray a certain barrier or a line. And then also, let's just be completely honest, every artistic piece that's always pushed the line has opened the door to further the conversations. Like, we wouldn't be having this conversation if it wasn't for this movie. Sure. A lot of people wouldn't even be talking about the adultification of kids, the sexuality of kids, if this movie wasn't there. Once again, I don't want to make anybody get it jaded. I'm not supporting any of this. I'm just saying I'm supporting the art versus the message. And I think when we start taking the art out of the message, now we're getting to a whole situation of what's acceptable and what's not. Now, we all know pedophilia is not acceptable, regardless if some people or whatever, but it's not acceptable. But I think in this instance here, they're depicting a reality, and where we're taking our brains is to the sick bastards that will watch this for kicks, not for the story or the art being used, if that makes sense.
I totally understand.
I highly doubt anyone today is watching this for art. Like, I understand your perception of art, and I get it. I really do. And I have mad respect for art. I really do. But this is not art. This director's like, oh, oui, art. No!
That was a pretty good French impersonation.
Twerking is not art. You're not attaching a paintbrush to my ass and I'm going to shake it and make art. That is not how we're doing it.
Mama Steve is bringing diversity. She's giving us French out here.
I'm just saying, twerking is not art.
What you got, DJ?
Okay, I understand both of your takes. I mean, both of y'all made some very valid points. Now, I mean, these same kids have access to videos where there's Uber twerking going on for 4 minutes, and they can watch this on YouTube. They can watch. I mean, you have interpretations of twerking going on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all social media handles. Until we give the benefit of the doubt and watch the movie, I mean, I think it's kind of hard for us to evaluate.
Right.
And we're just kind of going off of everyone else's opinion and saying that sure, twerking bad.
Right.
Let's cancel. Let's ban Netflix.
I saw a clip of it of them.
I think it's very extreme.
I saw a clip of it where they were showing, I guess, when they were practicing the twerk and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And because we always take in the bias, my first thought when I saw it was like, oh, this is kind of gross. This is probably a little too far. But then I thought to myself, would I think this if this wasn't a controversy? Like, if I wasn't looking at this with the controversial eyes of saying, is this acceptable or not? Or if I would have been looking at this with just taking in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I don't know what happened before that scene. I don't know what happens after that scene. For all we know, her mom could have came through with the switch after that scene and been tearing asses, and we'd have been like, "Yeah, get on, mama." That's what. But we don't know that. So when I saw a clip and it was like, it was these young girls shaking, and I'll admit it made me feel uncomfortable. But it was less about their age, more about me being a father of daughters, and how I would not be. That wouldn't be acceptable for me.
Exactly.
That's what made me feel uncomfortable. I don't give a crap what other people do with their own kids.
Yeah.
So I think, and so as I said, I couldn't judge them. Even if we see the movie, I don't know if we're judging the movie properly because we already have in our mind, this may be disgusting, and this may be like the porn for pedophiles.
Correct.
And that's what we're going to go into it, so we may even miss the whole message. So again, that's what I said. I think I want to try to give it a chance.
I can't watch it, though. I really can't. Because that's just, degrading everything that I stand for in regards to a woman should be more than just a body.
Right. Right.
It's not just about bodies. It is about what's in here.
Right.
It's not, heart, brain,
Absolutely.
your whole personality. And I just don't feel comfortable with men treating women like objects.
Right.
I really don't. It's happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it happen to my friends, and I know people that are married where their husbands still look at them like they're a piece of meat and nothing else.
Well, does it change your thought process a little bit because it's a woman making this movie? And it's like, because again, if it was a man making this, I would be more leaning your way because I'm like, damn, how a dude going to give the experience of a young girl doing this? But does it change it that it's a woman doing this? And I think
the movie is actually based on some of her own personal life experiences.
Right.
I understand it's about your personal life experience, but it's not something that I agree with
Got it.
watch because there's another way you could express it. You could express it in writing. You can not by, parading little girls around.
Right.
And, for a visual effect for men to watch them shake their butts. If you want to express a story about if this was a traumatizing experience for you or whatever, do what everyone else is doing and write it in a book. Do an audio book because
leave it to the imagination.
Right, not be like, okay, well I twerked as a kid. For example, here is a dramatization of it.
Right.
And then you have 4 random girls dressed like the Dance Moms girls and they're, which, by the way, I hate Dance Moms. I really do. And this kind of reminds me of the backlash with toddlers and tiaras. Mm-hmm. Do y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, which dressed them
her up. Yeah, like Julia Roberts from Pretty Woman, Pretty Girl, whatever it was. Yeah.
And it, gave the impression like, oh, well, I'm going to dress my daughter up as a hooker. Mm-hmm. Well, and everyone was like, mad about that.
Right.
And you would think that Netflix would be like, oh, well, we don't want to do that. Netflix is so particular about things. As you may have known from the story about when we tried to go visit one of the sets.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about that. Yeah. Netflix don't play that shit.
That's another story for another day.
Yeah.
But
one last thing, personal experience of my family. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and she's on social media a lot, and I try to be aware of what she's, viewing and everything like that. But, of course, I'm not around her 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Absolutely.
Right.
She loves to dance. She loves TikTok.
Yeah.
I love
TikTok. I'm sure she sees things on TikTok that's not appropriate for a 12-year-old. And I really believe, I'm not sure how I feel. Like I would want to watch the movie first, but it might be an opportunity for an educational talking point with my child.
Why this is acceptable, why this is not acceptable.
There's a lot of things out there that I have no control over that, she has access to view. She has her own cell phone. So she can see a lot that I wouldn't want her to see. And I really feel like that would be a great opportunity for me to step in and educator,
And I do respect that.
Yeah.
I do.
No, I
do
think,
respect that.
I think we, this is why you're on the show. I mean, Mama Steve, this is why you're on the show, because me and Tunes would have broken down and we kind of leaned the same way, so we needed extra perspective. So, I mean, this is why we love you here, and we're just so glad you're here with us. But, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap that up.
And by the way, it is rated TVMA.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so they did rate it TVMA.
Okay. So it is mature.
Yep.
Okay. So with that even being said, I mean, that just, as we stand, Mama Steve doesn't want us to enjoy art of little kids dancing. So
no,
you just want to put that out there.
Final word. I do not support this movie. I do not support little girls twerking on Netflix. Take it down. That's all I have to say on that.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's a wrap on that one.